MrYorkieLoverFitness.com.
How you guys doing? This is Jason from Mr. Yorkie Lover Fitness, and today I am going to talk about the healthy truth about eggs. Now, there's a lot of misconceptions on eggs, raising cholesterol and its nutrient content and whatnot. So I felt I need to make this video, especially since I've seen a couple of videos recently that were still, talking about do not eat eggs if they're bad for you. So the first thing I want to start with, and the biggest part of my evidence suggesting that they are actually good for you, is the Dietary Guidelines, the U.S. Dietary Guidelines. And let me read straight from their website so you understand what they are. The Dietary Guidelines for Americans is the nation's go-to source for nutrition advice. Published every 5 years for public health professionals, each edition of the Dietary Guidelines reflects the current body of nutrition science. These recommendations help Americans make healthy food and beverage choices and serve as the foundation for vital nutrition policies and programs across the United States. Now, the Dietary Guidelines is made up of health professionals. They're not backed by the dairy industry. They're not backed by the meat and poultry industry. They're funded by the government. And their goal is to constantly study food and the effects it has on the human body. And the reason they do this is because they realize that the healthier the country is and the citizens are, that you'll have less medical expenses, which can burden down a country. And we see that happening in countries like England, where they don't have the best healthcare industry, and it's free, but they tax you very highly, but their diet over there is not too good. So, like they said, every 5 years they come out with their new report. So in their new report came out January of this year, 2016, and so for the last 40 plus years, this is the group that everyone quoted, because this was the group that said eggs were bad for you. And everyone lived by that. For 40 plus years, this group, U.S. Dietary Guidelines, has been saying that. Now, in the January 2016 report, this is what they say, and I'm going to read this straight from their website. Eggs, which the government had warned against for 40 years, are now considered part of a healthy diet. Quote, eggs can be part of a healthy eating pattern, and people should be thoughtful about including them into a healthy routine, end quote, said Karen DeSalva, HHS Assistant Secretary for Health. So, evidence has shown that high levels of cholesterol in the blood are associated with saturated fat from fatty meats rather than eggs, leading to a shift in the government's guidelines. So, for years they've been telling you eggs are bad, it's going to raise your cholesterol. Now the same group that said that has realized that is no longer true. And not only is eggs not bad for you, it should be included in your diet. Okay, so let's talk about cholesterol. It's like cholesterol is made up of LDL and HDL. Now, the LDL is the bad cholesterol, the HDL is the good cholesterol. And when you go get your cholesterol tested from a doctor, they give you your HDL levels, your LDL levels, and your total cholesterol level. So you get 3 set of numbers. So the thing about eggs that always threw people off is they would look at that overall cholesterol number and said, oh, well, eggs are high in cholesterol, so it's going to raise your cholesterol. But what they weren't realizing is that 2/3 of the egg's cholesterol is the HDL, or the good cholesterol. So that's why they've now come to realize that it was bogus all these years. So if you look at the nutritional facts for eggs, I'm going to read this from livestrong.com. So, and I'm not going to include my links to this stuff because for 2 reasons. First of all, I can include them, and then people will find a way, if they don't want to believe this, they're going to find a way to say, oh, it's BS. Or if I don't include them, they're going to say, oh, you didn't include them. So basically, some people, they want to believe what they want to believe. No matter what I do, they're going to continue. If they think eggs are bad, they're going to continue to think eggs are bad. This is for the people that really don't really know about it, have no position on it, or on the fence about it. So I just want to clear that up for those people. But people that are like vegans and other people on extreme diets like that, they're going to continue with, oh, eggs are bad regardless of the new information. So we're talking about eggs. Eggs, first of all, it's the #1 protein. And what does that mean? So what they do is they have what's called a biological value index, and they list all the different proteins, from plant proteins to different animal proteins, and eggs is #1 with a rating 100 out of 100. And so what that means is it has the highest content of the essential amino acids to make up a complete protein, and it is the most digestible out of all the proteins. So a typical egg, whether it's a small to large egg, will be 6 to 8 grams of protein. So since it's rated 100 on the biological value index, that means your body will pretty much assimilate all 6 to 8 grams of that protein in an egg. And if you take, for instance, soybeans, depending on what form the soybean is in, you're only going to assimilate anywhere from 60 to 90%, depending on what form it's in. So eggs, 100 out of 100, the highest digestibility, and like I said, the number one protein. And as we discussed before, the cholesterol, 2/3 of the cholesterol in the egg is the good cholesterol. And even though that 1/3 has the bad cholesterol, your body still needs LDL cholesterol in there to function. You just don't need a lot of it. So another thing about eggs is they're high in a lot of other nutrients. So you're looking at, they have a lot of B vitamins, they have antioxidants, and a lot of trace minerals. So an egg is a very healthy food. Now, the thing about, like I said, vegans, they're extremists. I don't have anything against them. I mean, Leroy couldn't stand them, but to me, I have nothing against them. And I saw a video Vegan Gains did on eggs saying they're still bad. But the problem with that was, like, if you watch his video and you watch a lot of these other vegan people or people that are anti-egg and anti-animal protein, is the studies he used in his newest video, which he came out a couple weeks, were from 2010 and 2012. So it's like, well, it's 2016. This has been available since January. Yet what I've learned about, like, people that are extremists and ideologues is they want to believe something, and no matter what new evidence comes to the forefront, they don't want to accept it. They're going to find some way to negate it and say it's not true, because they're so die-hard into their beliefs that no matter what you say, it's not going to change their beliefs. And that's the problem about, being like that. Now, personally, I think a vegan diet's unhealthy. You're not getting you can get protein. There's only two actual vegetables out there, two plant sources of protein that are complete proteins is soybean and quinoa. But they're barely complete proteins, meaning the essential amino acids to make them a protein is barely there. Unlike, like I said, the egg, where the numbers are absolutely like to the top and the best protein you can get. So you can't beat animal protein. But like I said, I don't get someone being vegan, but I totally understand someone being vegetarian, because at least a vegetarian, they'll still eat eggs, they'll still eat animal products. They just won't eat products straight from an animal's meat. They will so I totally get that. But a lot of people don't realize that most people that are vegans and vegetarians, they're not that way because of health reasons. They're that way because of the emotional thing. They're very emotional about the animals being slaughtered, and a lot of times, and you know what, I will agree that the majority of the animal protein we get, it's not very humane how they slaughter the animals. The animals pretty much know they're going to die, and it's pretty. And then you go outside this country, and it gets even worse. I get that, but the thing about that is there's other ways around it, and I'm going to give you a perfect example. So, like I said, I eat eggs every day. So if you go buy large carton of eggs at Ralph's or whatever your local grocery store is, it's usually about $2.50 to $3 for a carton of eggs. Well, I go to Trader Joe's, and this carton of large eggs this was about, I think, $3.75. So it's basically $1 more for these eggs. But why do I get these eggs? And let me show you why. First of all, cage-free. These chickens that lay these eggs do not live in cages. Unlike the majority of chickens out there, they do live in cages, and they're pretty cramped, and like I said, they're treated pretty horrible, and I get that. But these are also no antibiotics, no hormones, all natural feed. So there's no moral dilemma on eating these eggs right here. I get on the other eggs, I get it, but on these, there's no problem with it. You're not inflicting any animal cruelty by eating these eggs. And by doing so, you're going to be eating the number one protein out there, which I totally suggest everyone do, especially if you're a bodybuilder trying to build your body. Now, here the thing is I'm 45 years old. My birthday's in January. Every year, I go and get a full checkup. Now, let me tell you pretty much what my diet is for almost the last 5 years. For almost the last 5 years, I've been eating 6 eggs every day. I either have it in the morning or in the middle of the day or the night sometime, but pretty much 6 eggs every day. I've been doing that for close to 5 years. So when I go to get my checkup, and when I went this January, like I always do, not only was my checkup perfect, my cholesterol levels were perfect, no clogged arteries or anything. In fact, the doctors always trip out of how clean my blood is, because I take a lot of supplements, and I do have a clean diet. I don't eat beef or pork because it's the fatty meats, but I eat chicken, turkey, fish, and a lot of eggs. You know, and I eat cheese. I put a lot of cheese on the eggs. But my checkup is perfect, and I've been doing this for 5 years. And so, you know, some people go, oh, well, you just have good genes in your family, or it's your lifestyle, or it's this or that. But if you hear the way people that are against eggs, like vegans and other people that can't stand eating eggs and don't want people to eat eggs, they claim eggs are poison. Eggs are going to raise your cholesterol, they're going to clog your arteries, and they're poison. Well, the difference between poison and eggs is, if I was to take poison, or you were to take poison into your body, it would either harm and or maybe kill you. Regardless of what your genes are like in your family's history, regardless of your lifestyle, regardless of your diet, poison will hurt or kill you. Eggs don't. And so just because I've been doing this for close to 5 years, 6 eggs a day, and I'm in perfect health, well, most people would be able to do 6 eggs a day because it's not poison and it's the best protein you're going to get. So, like I said, I want to clear that up, and like I said, just because I've seen a couple videos, and that last one I saw was Vegan Gains. And you know what? On a personal level, I have nothing against Vegan Gains. I get it. He has a cause. I think he's extreme at it, but that's his cause. He stands by it. But on a YouTube level, he makes a very entertaining video. If you want to get a couple laughs, go to his channel, watch his videos. But I don't think I wouldn't take most of his dietary advice to heart, because, like I said, just on this egg thing alone, he even shows you his stuff. It's 2010 studies and 2012 studies. And now in 2016, the U.S. Dietary Guidelines says eggs are good for you and should be included in your diet. I recommend you do so. And plus, like I said, 12 eggs is cheap. Like I said, these eggs are under $4 for a 12 pack. And like I said, if you care about the animals, get the eggs from Trader Joe's. I think Whole Foods has also eggs like this too. And any good health food store that sells groceries will have eggs like that. And I totally recommend it. But I just wanted to clear that up, get that off my chest, because that's been bothering me for a while when I see people spread misinformation. And that's the one negative thing about YouTube, is anyone can make a video claiming anything, and anyone will believe what they want to believe. So be it. But I hope I inform you. Go ahead and leave comments and questions or whatever you want to do. Like the video, subscribe, and see you next time.